Would you like to hear from these three ridiculously successful legends? Keep watching.
Live with courage.
In Austria, kids were conditioned to follow the parents' path. But unlike other kids around me, I was very determined that I have to get out of there. And then one day, I saw the cover of a magazine of Reg Park. And it says how Mr. Universe became Hercules. I opened up this magazine and I read through it, and there was the whole plan laid out. I asked myself, Arnold, what is it about you that is so different? Why are you the only one that sees it so clearly, this goal, going to America and winning the Mr. Universe contest and getting into movies and making millions of dollars? No one else talks about this around here. Is it real? Is it just a crazy fantasy? But wait a minute, Reg Park did it. Then it's possible. Arnold, focus. The key thing is to be focused. Visualize your goal. And I saw myself standing up there on the stage just like Reg Park, and it became more and more clear. Arnold, you got to go.
So, you want to be really, really successful. According to Arnold Schwarzenegger, the step number 1 is to model after the best. No, not that kind of modeling. You see, if you want to be the best in the world at whatever field you're in, you need to find out who the best is currently and figure out how they got there so that you can also replicate or model the same way that they did. Just like how Arnold Schwarzenegger figured out how Reg Park, which is at that point in time the bodybuilder, and he found out how exactly this man went from nobody to being the bodybuilder. Of course, there are other ways to do this, but what you want to do is you want to get a shortcut. You want to get there fast, and the best way is to find out how others did it, especially the ones who was the best in what you want to do. And of course, you have to make the sacrifice. I'm pretty sure that the things that these people did, the ones who are really successful, it's not easy. It requires a lot of sacrifice. If you remember, Arnold Schwarzenegger had to leave Austria, his country, at the age of 21 years old by himself to go to the US because he knew that the only way for him to become Mr. Olympia was to start by being Mr. Universe, and in order for him to do that, he had to go to the US. And you know what he did? He became Mr. Olympia. Not once, not twice, not thrice, but 7 times. And that was when he finally decided, you know what, I'm bored, I'm just gonna quit and I'm gonna go into acting and be the best in the world at that as well. Step 2, work ridiculously hard.
The only thing that I see that is distinctly different about me is I'm not afraid to die on a treadmill, right? I will run.
You would not be outworked.
I will not be outworked.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
You know, you might have more talent than me. You might be smarter than me. You might be sexier than me. You might be all of those things. You got it on me in 9 categories. But if we get on the treadmill together, right, there's 2 things. You're getting off first, or I'm going to die. It's really that simple.
Did you hear what Will Smith said? He said that if you were to put him and you on the treadmill, one of 2 things is going to happen. Either 1, you are going to get off first, or 2, he is going to die trying to beat you. You see, I admire Will Smith not because of how successful he is, but because of his ridiculous work ethic. And I feel that that will bring you and me and everyone else in this world really far. So maybe you might have heard of Will Smith as an actor, or maybe you've heard of Jaden Smith because he acted in Karate Kid. It's more recent, right? But you might not know who and how Will Smith got to where he is today. Did you know that Will Smith's real talent is not in acting? is actually in rapping. Will Smith worked really hard and he finally became the rapper in town, like the new kid on the block, you know. And what happened was he got so famous to the point where he got huge amounts of money. But he did not know how to manage them. He almost went bankrupt. And you know what? At that point in time, Quincy Jones said, I'm gonna make you a TV star. He had literally zero experience in acting. He wanted to be a TV star? That's crazy. So you know what he did? He memorized his own lines. He memorized every other actor's lines. And that was when the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was formed. In fact, if you watch the very first few episodes of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you will realize something very weird. Will Smith was lip-syncing to every other actor's lines, and the director had to tell him, stop doing that, only memorize your own lines. That was how hardworking he was. Guys, I must tell you this, there is no substitute for hard work. Really, no substitute. In fact, if you want to be the best in the world at whatever you're doing, you need to start by attaining mastery. And mastery in whatever skill you have is attained by doing 10,000 hours of whatever you're doing, according to Malcolm Gladwell. Yes, 10,000 hours. You heard that right. Now couple that with the very first principle, which was you have to model the people who are already successful at this. Now model how they do things and then put in the 10,000 hours. Let's move on to the last tip. Step 3, fail forward.
I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed.
Now, in case some of you don't know, that was Michael Jordan, MJ. If you don't know who Michael Jordan is, you deserve to be slapped. Michael Jordan is the most amazing living legend in sports currently. You might have heard of the Air Jordans. Now, did you know that Michael Jordan is the first person to ever have a whole entire line named after him? You see, what happened was Michael Jordan was really, really good at what he did. He became an all-star, he was the rookie of the year or something like that, and he helped all his teams, specifically Chicago Bulls, to be undefeated, and it's ridiculous what kind of success he had. In fact, he was so good that if you take a look at all the stats of these basketball games, every single game that Michael Jordan played in, you know what happened? The scores of both teams went up, not only his, because everyone else wanted to perform better, everyone else wanted to beat Michael Jordan. And what did this legend say? He said, I have failed over and over and over again, and that's why I succeed. Now, one of the things that I notice about teenagers when I'm doing my programs is that you guys are really afraid to fail. Now, some of you, of course, maybe it's because your parents have scolded you every time you failed, but you know what? Failure is a part of success. Now, did you know that I have had over 6 different businesses and they've all failed in a span of 2 years? In fact, I actually gave up my university education and I pursued my business for 2 years and I kept failing and failing and failing and I almost quit. But in the end, I found math prodigies, and I realized that, you know what, it finally worked. And the attitude that you want to have is exactly like that. It is not over until you succeed. And if you are one of those people who say, I don't think I can succeed, I don't think there's a way, there is always a way. You see, it's not about resources, it's not about what you have that can help you to get there. It's about how resourceful you are. It's how you use whatever you already have to get to where you want to be. So here's a question I want you to ask yourself. If I try and I fail, will I regret that? But more importantly, will you regret it if you don't try? Alright, so that's the end of the video. I just want to summarize everything for you. Step number 1, model after the best. Step number 2, work ridiculously hard. And step number 3, fail forward. Keep moving forward despite the failures. It's all part of the journey. Alright, that's the end of the video, and I want you to do one thing for me, please. Just leave me a comment below and tell me what is one thing you want to succeed at and how badly do you want it. My suggestion is to follow these 3 steps. Decide now, take action, and get to where you want to be. If you're watching this on Facebook, please like my page. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe, and please share this video with anyone that you know who will benefit from this. It will really help everyone around you, be it teenagers or adults or whoever it is. Share this video. Until then, live with courage.